All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are here and we are live with the Finovant BioFi team and HVAC EDU. We're very excited. We are going to be demonstrating some of the coolest technology in Web3, and I'm just very excited to speak with everybody here. So maybe we can start by just a quick intro. Maybe we'll go top left to right. Chris, why don't you go ahead and start, and then we'll get Brian, and then we'll get the HVAC people. Maybe a quick intro, who you are, what do you do, why are you so cool, and we'll get it going, all right?
All right, I'll start. Thank you, Robert. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody who is joining us. And for the folks who are going to watch later on, thank you for taking the time out of your day, out of your evening to spend a few minutes with us and learn about what we're doing. My name is Chris Benedict. I'm a co-founder at Finovant and BioFi, and we are super excited to be here today with Robert and with the team from HVAC EDU. These guys are the premier HVAC training company here in the U.S. and they have arms around the world as well. And we are working with them to take some of their high-end training and bring it from Web 2 to Web 3. So at that point, I'm going to just pass it over to Todd. Todd.
Let's get Chris to he's the CEO. Let's get him to talk before me.
Okay.
There you go.
I can do it. Hi, I'm Chris Compton. I'm the founder of REDU.net. We were the first career technical education program to go online 26 years ago. To date, we've trained tens of thousands of techs and have been growing steadily over the years. Over those years, we've created 2,300 hours of online curriculum, on-demand curriculum, and typically add about 100 hours a year. HVAC technology is going crazy, digital-driven, off the map. Our program is recognized training by the national certification agencies such as NATE, HVAC Excellence. We're accredited by HVAC Excellence, which is also the organization that accredits any program in the United States. And we're the only accredited online program. Our live faculty, such as Todd here, is a certified master HVACR educator. We support our students. That's a big deal with student support and live faculty. We're recognized by the U.S. Department of Labor and many state boards as related training for apprenticeship programs. And we train technicians, large and small contracting companies, facilities maintenance companies, all over the world, actually. Most of our students are here in the U.S., but we do embassies, etc., around the globe. That's who we are.
Thank you.
How do I lead with our?
How do you follow that?
Go with that. Yeah, follow that. No, I'm, as Chris already formally introduced me, I'm Todd Clare. I am the lead HVACR subject matter expert here at HVACR EDU. I'm with the team. I've worked with Chris over several years, but I came aboard about a year ago next month, and excited to be here. When I came on board, I was telling Chris, hey, we need to bring Web 2 to Web 3, our content to Web 3, and make some VR interactive content to support our already 22 or 2,300 hours of online education. So Chris threw this in my lap, says, take and run with it. And it's been exciting. We only have one use case or one exercise currently, but we are developing a lot more in the background. So I'm excited about this. This is going to bridge that gap from the online education to, as Crypto Sensei so nicely put, Web3. And we're excited. And we're excited to show you what we have.
Thank you, my friend. Thank you for breaking that down. All right, who's next on The Price is Right? Come on down.
Gotta be Brian.
Brian, it's on you, sir.
I'll hop in. Thank you, Robert. As we always like to start out with these in our tradition, we want to thank you, Robert, directly for helping arrange this wonderful Cryptonaires community. We can boast that a lot of just wonderful investors and supporters and just incredible backers of the BioFi ecosystem come from this organization. And we couldn't be more happier to be here today. Want to thank the BioFi community, all of the HVAC EDU people that will be watching this globally for the next months and years. This will be something that we post out here. We expect to have this live the test of time. I want to thank the HVAC team directly for their foresight, their innovative mindset, their ability to see into the future, knowing that the next generations of students that come into the HVAC education sphere are going to use this, and this will make a huge, massive difference in their lives. So with all the incredible foresight, the innovation, the great thinking that they put in place will allow this to transform the lives of many people. So these guys are doing a fantastic job. What we're going to show today in the technology and what's behind this is just incredible. It's an amazing feat. It really will set milestones for education, for learning, for certification, for training people in virtual reality, and the tech is just incredible behind this. So these guys have been doing a fantastic job. The team is amazing. These are experts beyond experts. These are the best of the best.
Thank you, Brian.
Thank you, Brian.
Who would be next? Or do you guys want to get into it? Oh, there we go. Hey, there he is.
I could just go real quick. Obviously, I'm at HVACR EDU. My name's Bryce Wilkinson. Can you guys hear me still?
5x5.
Headset's being weird. But yeah, so I'm operations director. So I've been really excited about working on this project. I've been working with Chris for going on 4 years now, and it's just been really great. Obviously, our content is just killer, and this is just that next step that everyone in the world is going to the Web3. So I'm really excited to be part of this and really building this out, and it's really cool. And I'm really looking forward to continuing this, like Todd said, and keep going and see how far we can take it. So that's it for me.
Thank you, my friend. Is there anyone else that would like to go before we kind of get into the technology and questions?
Hey guys, can you hear me okay?
Hey, Baron. Yep, we got you.
Yep.
I'm David. I'm the lead dev at Finovant for Metaverse, and I'm super excited to take part in the building and the creation of this project. And I'm excited to show you guys what we have created alongside HVAC.
Fantastic. Short but sweet and to the point. I love it. All right. Is there anyone else? All right, let's get into it, guys. So I've got a lot of great questions here, but first of all, why don't we go ahead and maybe show the technology and we can talk through it, and then maybe we can answer the questions as we go. Does that sound good, guys?
Yeah,
I think that's great.
Fantastic. All right, who's the lucky person that's going to be sharing their screen, just showing? Is that David?
It would be David.
All right, David, you're up, my friend. Bottom middle, there's a little screen with an arrow to the right. That's share your screen. All right.
There we go.
All right, everyone, go ahead and click on the share screen option. Obviously, if you're new to Discord, top left, okay? Great. We can see your screen, David. Perfect.
Looks good.
Awesome. So we created this login and interact with LMS, so in real time. So let's log in, and it's going to give you access. I've completed this course already, but I'm going to take it again so I can show you guys. So I'll run through this rather quickly. So we get a service call, and we've been dispatched to this residence. And upon arrival, we have spoken with the owner and introduced ourselves and explained that we're here to repair their HVAC system. So we will attempt to diagnose and repair the system. So, we're prompted to proceed to the indoor thermostat and set the system to cool before the ambient room temperature at 60 degrees to ensure that the unit is not satisfied while we perform our diagnosis. So we can check our controls here, and as you can see, you can pretty much go anywhere you'd like except, past the sidewalk. So we have our truck here, and we walk inside the house. You're limited to this dining room. So let's check out our thermostat. We set it to 60. Everything's completely interactive here, so you can go up, down, you see the system heat, and then we set this to cool. Okay, we are prompted to retrieve our toolbox. So here we go, and now we proceed inside, and our toolbox is magically here. If at any point you feel like you're stuck or you don't know, with the last prompt, we have a log right here, and you can read through it. Move these panels, and this is, on removal of the unit, you are prompted with questions as well. So you can visualize, you can come here, interact with this, and it'll, if you know about this, technician here, and check here, and it'll tell you the TXV. So you can click, okay, TXV, correct. Put this in here, and now we're asked to check the blower, the amperage, pretty much. So we go in here, grab our tool, a multimeter, we turn it on to amperage, built here. You can see the air is blowing, so in case it's an 8, if you have no audio, if you're taking this here, click it, and you can see here, please replace the blower panels in order to get an accurate afterlight reading from the multimeter. So once we do that,
David, I want to make note of this for the audience and for our listeners that these steps are traditional steps that we use to diagnose and for a typical service call. So it's kind of a spoon-fed step-by-step as we go through here.
So you can see here, it shows us the amperage that we took from our reading. Also, the data collection here, every value that's important will be tracked here. You can see our FLA amp 3.1. So it's tracking this as we go. Proceed to outdoor unit and locate to that side. And you can see, you can shut the unit off. The fan up there, there's a visual cue as well. It'll stop spinning if we shut the unit off. So we can interact with the cameras. We can remove panels, replace them. You can see the inside of the unit. You will take measurements here. Let's replace this, and this would be the next step. So this is an accurate representation of a real-life tag. So we can check that our indoor TXV is subcooling 15 degrees Fahrenheit. So let's click that. And now we're prompted with a question. What is the manufacturer's target subcooling? So we can just, if you didn't catch it the first time, we can check again. Here we go. Subcooling 15 degrees Fahrenheit, as you can see. So let's hit that, 15, and that's correct. So I can keep going, or do you guys have any questions?
Yeah, let's ask a couple questions here. So this is for the HVAC guys, maybe Todd or DC. What is leak detection, and can you guys please explain the key advantages of using maybe these VR applications in the HVAC industry?
Want me to take that, Chris? Or all right, we're required by the Environmental Protection Agency and the Clean Air Act, and all HVAC technicians to touch and utilize refrigerant must be 608 certified for residential, light commercial, and commercial and industrial equipment. Automotive is a little bit different. That's a 609. We aren't going to get into that. But 608 gives us the ability as a technician certification to touch refrigerant and use refrigerants, which is a controlled substance. And that's, in this case, a leak detection, to answer your question, Sensei, is we're required by law to eliminate those harmful refrigerants being released into the atmosphere. Okay, so contain components such as this air conditioner we're looking at, your refrigerator and your house. Of course, they all have different refrigerants, and we aren't going to go down that rabbit hole right now. But the purpose of leak detection is maintaining that refrigerant in that system, and that way it doesn't leak out into the atmosphere, harm the environment, costly repairs, and many other aspects in that situation. So as David goes through, he's kind of running through this in the background, and he's going to get to the point where he hooks up his gauges and determines that there is a low refrigerant charge and aspect. And as a technician, if you read the steps, as I've already pointed out to you, these steps are kind of step processes that you would go through to determine and diagnose that, oh, you know what, the refrigerant charge isn't just right. And we determine that it's not. Go, okay, if it's low and all the other conditions are semi-decent within range, then there might be a leak. So we go around, we're going to test for a leak and verify that we do have a leak eventually. And our process here that we're required to by the Environmental Protection Agency and the Clean Air Act to fix and repair that leak. That's probably the biggest reason. And of course, let's not forget about Mrs. Jones's house. She wants to be cool. So we want to make sure her system's working properly.
Beautiful. Thank you for breaking that down. Quick question though, how does VR-based training in the metaverse improve retention and comprehension of as far as your students' knowledge and skills as they develop? How are you guys seeing this making a change for the people that are taking these courses?
Essentially, it's task oriented. This is a very common service procedure in the field, diagnosing a system, identifying it's low on refrigerant, etc. The big deal here is diagnosing a low charge in an air conditioning system. That's the big deal. It's not a simple project. It requires a significant understanding of the refrigeration cycle, how air conditioners work, etc. So, but the steps that we have set up in this simulation are realistic step-by-step diagnosis of a low charge or verification of a good charge, whatever. So the retention idea is just virtual flight training. You just do it over and over, and after you master it, then when you're in the field, the steps should be relevant in your head. You've done enough exercise with this and you remember the steps and continue on with a good process. This is for an entry-level technician. This is not a small project. They have to understand how everything works and then do the diagnostics. So that the VR thing, or the simulation, plus we have built into this their prompts to help them through it. And after a while, after enough exercise in this, they won't even look at the prompts. They'll just go through the process. This is much cheaper than doing it in the live environment. Much quicker, all kinds of ways to do that training.
And accessible.
Yeah. Yes. So walk me through this, guys. Have students been able to use this already? And if they have, what has been the feedback, like the live feedback from people that are experiencing this for the first time, that are able to train and do this right from their living room?
Feedback's been great. They're excited to, hey, as I mentioned earlier, Chris threw this project in my lap because it was something that I pushed and stride for. And, Chris did this many years ago, and it was a kind of a belly flop due to, as we all might know, we didn't have Web3 at that time. Chris, I know you can expand upon that. You had a whole town and everything like that, but you didn't have the player. Today's technology makes it accessible to anybody with a PC. We have PC and we're working on OS and some other devices as well. But right now it makes it accessible to anybody with a PC. You don't need any fancy hardware. And that feedback, to answer your point, is been positive. Hey, this is really cool. And it's bridging that gap from your traditional rudimentary type lecture or reading out a book. In this case, we have slideshow type presentations and it walks you through it, and bridging that gap to your hands-on. We don't call it hands-on. In this case, it's mouse-on. And it really bridges that gap, and it's the way of the future.
I love that, man. And so how do you guys incorporate like assessments and performance evaluations, for mechanics and the training modules? Like, how do you guys, are you able to do the same thing you did in Web 2 with Web 3 as far as tracking people's progress and their development of these certain skills?
Oh, yeah.
Bryce, why don't you take that? You can develop the API.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. Bryce ran away.
Bryce ran away. Robert, we've developed an API that communicates with our Web 2, our typical grade book, and this is a incomplete type exercise. If they walk through it and they go through these steps, that it's been spoon-fed to them. Again, going back to that repetition. It's like riding a bike, right? We all learned how to ride a bike one day, and the more you did it, and now we got on a bike, and it's just second nature. And to Chris's point, we, as these repetition goes through here, you won't even be reading these prompts after a while because you're going to know it, and it's amazing.
No, thank you for answering that. I'm curious, guys. Over the next 12 to 24 months, how do you see your business evolving with these new trainings? Are you guys going kind of all in, and you're hoping to create a whole, from start to finish, you can take everything through these metaverse trainings, or is it maybe just like one per section of the training? How do you guys see this developing over the next couple of years?
Our mission currently is to develop all of the common service procedures that you would find in a residential light commercial environment. The HVAC and our technology just is mind-blowing. The scope is huge of the types of equipment that are out there. Most people, unless they're in the industry, just about everybody else takes HVAC and refrigeration for granted. They have no idea. Sometimes I feel like a doctor. I'm at a party and I say I'm an HVAC guy, and the next thing I hear is, "Oh, I have a furnace and it's making this funny noise," that kind of thing. Nobody really has any real concept of how this stuff works, or even how comforts our all kinds of industries, human comfort, around the globe, et cetera, et cetera. Ask the people in Houston today how they like their air conditioner. It's for anywhere in the southern U.S. or southern parts of the globe right now.
Or Dubai.
Oh yeah.
Don't even go there. It's an insidious industry that supports incredible amounts of technology, of manufacturing, comfort. Go to a theater that's not air conditioned. You won't last. Go to a convenience store that is not air conditioned. You'll watch the chocolate melt off the shelves. The list goes on and on. So our mission, our initial mission right now is to develop all of the common service procedures that the average technician would encounter and build that all out. It will be a service procedure project. It will be attached. These exercises will be attached to specific courses in our curriculum for a learner to go through the online course, learn the concepts, the details of the system, and then we will exercise them on doing it. So it's a typical classroom/lab exercise process.
Great. I did have a question for David as far as, building this. David, what do you think the key components involved in building a virtual reality solution for HVAC? Are you're using, it looks like Unreal Engine. Can you kind of break it down a little bit more? Kind of what are the key components involved in building such technology out for the team?
Sure. So there's many components that are involved in building a solution like this, and there's also a lot of details that go into the creation of tech components. It's a team effort, and everyone on the team plays an important role and does an exceptional job in general. And at communicating the intricacies that go into building a project of this magnitude. So the team is a key component, I would say. But also the tools and the technology that we build upon, like the engine itself. It's great out of the box, but there are so many in-house tools that we've had to develop with code to make this possible.
Great. And then, building in a Web 2, theater and now coming into Web 3, is it much more difficult to put something like this together? As I guess I'm talking about the price of Web 2 training compared to Web 3 training. Is it costing and more money to create these? I think it would be, but can you just kind of talk to us a little bit about the difference between Web 2 training and Web 3 training and kind of what the price differences would be?
I can speak to that. And David as well, or anybody else, but 13 years ago, I think Todd mentioned, I had some developers work with me, and we developed this entire little village with stores and residences with different types of systems in them, and a van and tools and yada yada. It went on and on and on. And at some point, I think I had over $200,000 invested. And then the crash and burn issue was I could not buy a player. You needed a player to do it, which was stupid on my part. I didn't check that out in advance. So we shelved the project. Working with BioFi and David and that team has been incredible. Watching David do things live, when we make a comment about the threads are too coarse on that flare nut or something, and David just goes click, 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 and it's all fixed. But the cost is much less, tremendously less than it was 10, 13 years ago. Plus it plays on the web. You don't need a player.
I love that. What are the next set of learning modules that you guys are working on to build out? Like what is next after this?
Simple thing. Go ahead, Todd. You got the list.
I got a list, and we got a few things going, and we're focusing more on rudimentary, simple things, connecting and disconnecting refrigerant gauges or hoses and manifolds, and as a student in the college, while I was working in the college, you would be surprised how many students are just and nervous to do this because your pressures are under 400 or 500 psi. And you disconnect that hose that's threaded. It's not a typical quick connect usually, like we'll see with, your air compressors. Of course, that's usually under 150, 200 pounds max. But these systems are 500 PSI, and, these rudimentary skills like that. That's kind of what our next focus is on. And
you have to start with the fundamentals. When I talk to employers all over the country, which I do every day, I always ask them, especially when it's a new employer that's coming into our program, I always ask them, what do you want me to teach your technicians? And generally speaking, we're talking about entry-level people, and they say, teach them the basics. If you don't know the basics, if you don't know the fundamentals, you can't really build up. You can't build somebody up higher. You have to have a good foundation. They want the basics, foundations cemented into a technician's brain. And the hands-on activities and tasks they're not simple, so to speak. They are simple after you know them, but on the up front, they are not simple. You have to really be careful on what you're doing. There's, like Todd mentioned, there's a lot of pressure here. We have a lot of electricity flying around and so on. Not to mention all the mechanical moving parts. Don't stick your finger in the fan blade. It's just critical. And this is the same way we built any of our curriculum. You start at the beginning and go up.
I love that. I'm sorry. Go for it, Todd.
And Robert, you hear a lot of this saying, "Oh, I watched YouTube out of how to replace this capacitor." You don't realize the capacitor that's inside that unit right there. It's contained 450 plus volts, and just watching YouTube is not going to make you an AC technician, and people don't realize that.
Yeah, that's the college I went to, the YouTube and Twitter college, to learn everything. So how long does it take to build one of these trainings, guys? Is this a 3-month, 6-month, 12-month process, or is this something you guys, now that you have a good foundation, like you were talking about, is this something you can build out much more quickly now?
The great thing about that is anything that we've already built. We've got a condensing unit, and it's actually a heat pump. We've got an indoor blower, a furnace. We've got a van. We've got a building. We've got, all these, we've got tools, a toolbox, etc., a ladder. All these things that we've already built can be easily and will be easily repurposed. We've got gauges that will be repurposed for additional scenes, additional simulations. We don't have to build them again. So as you go along, you create this warehouse full of stuff, digital warehouse full of stuff that can be pulled out at any time and implemented into the next scene or next simulation, which is wonderful. You only have to build it once.
I love that.
And,
keep going, please.
As far as working with BioFi, it's my experience that these guys are smoking hot. We've been on a lot of sessions. When did we start this? Mid-spring?
4 or 5 months ago, maybe, I think. Does that sound about right,
easily.
Brian?
Yeah, something like that. It was okay. So it was early spring, and the creation of the sim, in my opinion, went super fast. Comparatively speaking to what my previous experience. And one of the things that we have now is, like I mentioned, is now we have this warehouse full of stuff. Our next sim will probably not need anywhere near half or even less components because we already have them. So the next sim can be very easily done.
I love that.
It's just a matter of Todd beating up Dave and what to do.
And to Chris's point, I want to chime in here. We were offering this, and I think we still are. Correct me if I'm wrong, Chris, as a free trial, and
Wow.
free download trial. So it's available. We'll show you guys where we can find out more information
Please.
shortly. But to that point, we also have a free sample course you guys can take if you're interested, and go through some fundamental type stuff. But yeah, this is going to be a lot of these exercises are going to all be attached to one of our courses. Example, this is attached to one of our leak detection courses, and it's one of the exercises that you'll be doing. And it's, of course, we just wrapped up the API to go back to what you asked about connecting to Web3 to Web2, and it sends that incomplete or not complete, I guess you would say, to the Web2, and it keeps track of this. And at any time, the student go back in there if they want to refresh. You go back in there, and they can look at this stuff again. It's not like it's only a one-time thing.
No, I love that. And you guys have created something really, truly incredible here. I haven't seen another company that's been able to create an actual virtual metaverse training so detailed as this is. Are there any other aspects around your business that you could see something like this metaverse training working? Because I'm sure you guys have a huge back office and you have to train employees on those areas as well. Have you guys thought of creating, different, use cases for different, jobs around HVAC EDU?
It'll take me the next 1,000 years to do that.
Okay.
I mean, it's just because, once again, people, the average Joe or Jane, have no idea how insidious is the word that HVAC and refrigeration is in our culture. Just no idea. Once you're inside the industry, I can walk down the street and see it absolutely everywhere. The average Joe or Jane walks down the street and, they don't see anything. But it is truly insidious and affects just about everything in our culture, from pharmaceuticals to the food to, I used to challenge visitors to my school program, naming something that wasn't touched by HVAC or refrigeration. Nobody has ever come up with anything. It's just, and so I say the next 1,000 years because the scope of the industry is so large, it'll take 1,000 years. And of course, 20 years from now, new technology, or even tomorrow, new technology has changed the game. I mentioned earlier that we're digital driven. We are definitely digital driven. The HVACR industry is just jumping with innovations and so on based on digital.
More so in the last 5 to 10 years than ever before.
Yeah.
No, I love that, guys. As you're working with some of these,
down.
he's not slowing down. Yeah, we're just kind of, technology's taken over, right? Last 20 years has been crazy, but you did mention earlier that you're talking with other companies and other, that send some of their employees to you guys to train. Are you having conversations with those companies kind of about this technology in particular? I mean, has it brought you guys more business? I mean, talk to us a little bit about, now that you've been able to show off what you guys have built, how is the reaction to other business leaders that are around your space?
Very positive. You have to realize that this is a very new launch. We haven't been out with it that long, but essentially we cover the entire country as far as clients go. 85 to 90% of our learners are employed in the industry already. And so the majority of our students come from an employer who wants them to upgrade in the technology, or they hire new people and want them trained up to get going. So this is so fresh on the street, so to speak. I haven't personally had a lot of feedback, but when I mentioned it to one of our clients, they're all about it. They're very supportive, very happy to hear we're going there.
I love that.
Yeah, and one of those clients being the client that actually accredits all HVAC trade schools, or the majority of HVAC schools. So, and we collaborate with them often, and they're excited and they wanna help out.
Yeah.
I love that, guys. I know there's going to be people that are watching this that might be interested, or maybe that are already in, the type of business and area that you guys are working in. What is the best place, or how can people, not just Cryptonaires members, but other people that are going to watch this on YouTube later, how can they get involved and start talking with you guys if they want to take the next step in their career and start this training?
Brian, if you're here, why don't you pull that up for us? So, David, if you could stop sharing and give Brian and Lloyd a chance to show his page. He's going to take us to the website and show you where you guys can access that. Same web page will also get you to navigate around there. Will get you to our free sample course and whatnot.
Beautiful.
Yes, anyone that goes to our website, hvacredu.net, can everybody see this?
It's just coming up right now.
It's loading.
It's loading.
It's coming.
Okay. It says I'm sharing a tab.
No, it hasn't come in yet.
HVACREDU.
Yeah, our website just chock full of information. One of the things that I want to comment on as far as the HVACR workforce, and I'm sure that a lot of people that are listening or watching this will be aware of that fact, is skilled labor is really sucking. Right now, if you're listening,
hold on, we're getting a lot of feedback. Hold on one second. We can't hear you. Hold on. There's a lot of feedback from somebody's mic. If you're not sharing, just go ahead and mute your mic if you can, because there's a lot of static feedback. There we go. Oh, it's still there. I think it's is it HVAC redo? Maybe
I think it's Brian Lloyd's.
Oh, okay. Yeah, let's just go ahead and mute if we can. That way we don't get that extra feedback.
That's mine.
It's gone now.
Yeah. Todd,
Yeah.
why don't you put up the website?
It's not working on right now. Get that going here.
Yeah, I'm trying to share it, but it says it's sharing, but nobody sees it. So
Can you guys see my screen?
No, it's still trying to load for some reason. Oh, there.
I'm
Wait,
not sure what's
wait,
going on here.
wait a second. I see it on your thing, so I think it's maybe just on my end that it's loading. Can anyone else see it? Maybe commenting. Oh yeah, it's there. It's there. You're golden.
Okay. Here's our website, just hvacedu.net, and this is a pop-up screen right now that's 3D interactive, so you can find out more. That's what we're looking at right now. But if you want to move on, you can close that. But our find out more is right here. You click on that, you can fill this form out, and if you want learn more about HVAC training, you very well can. Here's the information you can fill out if you'd like. But we have several different campuses. If you're in California, you could even get some free training that's sponsored by Southern California Edison. So those of you who reside in California, that's a great campus that we offer. But our store is filled with all kinds of different education, and we even have training in Espanol. So not all of our courses are quite yet, but several of them are, and some great stuff. So here's our store up here. About us. If you guys want to see about me and Chris, you can go and meet our staff, and faculty and crew, and a lot more. So navigate to hvacrdu.net, take a look around, and get busy.
Great. And then Brian, did you guys want to share BioFi Interactive? Is that something we covered, or did we miss that? Oh, Brian's not here right now. Chris, did we talk about BioFi Interactive?
We did not. So BioFi Interactive is really the capabilities that the BioFi team is bringing to the table in the education space. You'll know this, Robert, because you're with us since we launched, and you know us very, very well, but the audience may not know a lot about us. And when we launched the BioFi token and the BioFi project, it was all about utility. It's all about delivering utility to the community, giving them things to do with the token and find value in it. So when we acquired the software and the company behind Dodrung, behind the Ethos Metaverse, and we found that it was a great opportunity to use the technology in an interactive way to educate people, to bring it to the education front. And we somewhat serendipitously met with the HVAC EDU team through someone who was in our joint community, someone who was taking training with them before. And as we were talking about bringing new opportunities and new training methodologies to the marketplace, this person said, "Hey, let me introduce you guys. This looks like a match made in heaven," and it sure was. DC has had this vision for years, and finally we're helping him execute against it. So it's really all about taking the technology, the skill set, the software, and bringing it all to making education more fun, more meaningful, and more effective for people. So that's what BioFi Interactive really is all about. It's about taking what exists in the Web3, and it brings two worlds together that I think probably didn't overlap very well, or there was probably low overlap, if anything. If you look at the HVAC technician and training facilities or environment universe, and put that up against the Web3 environment, I would bet there's very little overlap. But guess what? We have the opportunity now to showcase HVAC's business, and more people can learn about it and be exposed to it and participate in it. And more people in the HVAC world who know nothing about BioFi can learn, participate, and grow both communities. So it's really about growing the community, delivering value, and helping build revenue for everybody who's in the space.
It's been a great collab.
Oh yeah.
I gotta add a funny note to what Chris Benedict was saying. The guy that brought us together, a guy named Mike, took just a whole slew of our courses, probably 8-10 years ago, while he was in Antarctica. He was a student in Antarctica at McMurdo Station, and he got a lot out of our courses. And he got a hold of me here a while back and said, "We got to go this way." And he was right.
I love that, guys. So in closing, is there anything you guys wanted to add before we ended today?
What about some Q&A? Did we have any questions from the audience?
You know what? I think you guys did such a good job. We didn't have any questions from the audience. The thing is, too, I've shown a lot of this technology to the community already, too, when you guys released it a couple weeks ago. So a lot of people understood what was going on before we did this training. But no questions from the audience. But is there anything you guys would like to maybe add before we end?
Are you, Chris? Anything?
I would like to say that if there's any young people out there, male, female, it doesn't matter, that are interested in a recession-proof career that has no glass ceiling, come on down. The industry needs you, and the industry would embrace you very well.
Yes, it is. And it's a
love
well-paying trade. Sky's the limit.
I love that. I love it. Chris, did you want to say anything in closing, my friend?
Again, thank you, Robert, for having us. Thanks for allowing us to bring the HVAC team in. It's a great collaboration, as Todd and DC were saying at Chris Gump. We're just thrilled to be working with them, and we look forward to bringing more to the community. So communities, if you know anyone else who could benefit from this training, we can always connect them to HVAC-R. And this is a training module. This is training capabilities that we're bringing to the market. So if there's other opportunities for us to help you with your training needs, let us know. But thanks again, Robert, and thanks to the community.
I love that. I love that. Thank you so much. Montana and Brian, did you guys want to say anything before we ended it here today? I wanted to give you guys the last word.
I said my piece already, other than thank you. Thank you very much.
One final thing is go to our website. It's a pop-up. Download it. Take a look at it. Take it for a spin. Go navigate our website and take a sample course. You might learn something new.
I love that. I love that, guys. Hey, I look forward to having you guys back when we have more units and scenarios built out, training modules built out. And we wish you guys all the success in the world. Just like you said, this industry is a recession-proof industry, and everybody needs either heat or air to kind of survive in where we live. So thank you so much for your time today, gentlemen. What you guys are doing, you guys are pioneering training in the Web3 space and for all the whole world. So congratulations on being at the forefront of that.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, gentlemen.
Thanks for having us.
Thanks a lot for having us.
It's a real honor. Thanks, guys.
Take care.
Thank you. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate you. If you have any questions, please go to the BioFi Discord or the HVAC EDU website and get training. See you guys. Thank you. Bye.